To start with, Tommy, how's the team looking? How's the club tracking along with dealing with COVID at the moment and the latest sort of hiccups?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously there's a level of disappointment. You know, we've got a lot of staff that put a lot of time into getting this game at SBC up and ready to go over Christmas, and we know this is a game that the performance team and the players really look forward to every year, and our members and fans that haven't seen us play in 21 days or even longer now. So definitely a level of disappointment that we couldn't get the game underway, but as always, the health and safety of our players and staff will always come first. And we found ourselves in a situation whereby we weren't going to be able to get the game underway. So we had to postpone the game. That's an important message. It's not being cancelled. We're postponing it, and we're just really eager and looking forward to getting on with things and getting another game out under our belt as soon as we can.
I know it's always dealing with other clubs and the stadium availability and things, but what idea can you give the fans of when you might be able to get that SBC game in next, and when you might be able to get these lads on court again next?
Yeah, look, I mean, that's in terms of the SBC game, that's something we'll be working through. You hit the nail on the head there, venue availability, how the rest of the season sort of tracks. That's something we'll work through over the next couple of weeks and hopefully get something locked away. In terms of our next game, we're currently scheduled for a game on the 15th against Brisbane. That's what we're targeting until we hear anything different. That's our next game on the books. And we'll be doing everything we can to get ready to sort of get back into it and take off where we left off.
You've also got an import spot there. Are you hoping to fill it in the near future? What's the situation looking like there, and how is it more difficult than other years to fill a spot at the moment with all that's going on?
We're signing Dante, aren't we? That's the normal angle. No, we're definitely looking to replace Devon Thomas. We've been searching high and low for the last couple of weeks. We've got a couple of really strong leads. We hope to have something secured and locked in ahead of our next game.
And with these, what are you sort of telling the guys? What are you telling the staff about how to keep their heads up, keep going on here? Because, I mean, this is like, you guys are going to get close to that NBL record of most days without a game, the way things are shaping.
We're a Southeast Melbourne basketball club, and I've got no concerns about how our staff are going to, or players or performance team are going to handle this situation. We found that last year, during all the COVID chaos, we thrived in those situations, and I fully expect that this will be a really similar situation. We've got a really resilient group from top to bottom, from the front office to the performance team. And I think these situations are situations where we really get to show what we're about. And like I said, just sort of looking forward to being able to get on with it and get to that next game.
Simon, how difficult has these past few weeks been? And what's the day-to-day like for you at the moment? Are you able to still get a few guys on court, or are you sort of got everyone sort of having a seat for a bit? How's things sitting with you?
No, today was one of our better sessions we've had in a little while, but we only had 9 blokes, so it was a lot of 3-on-3, breaking down our structures, and just getting some education into some of the younger blokes who are our training players, and getting them in a little bit more informed and in depth in what it is that we do. So we've got to utilise the time the best we can. The guys on our roster who trained today were fantastic. It's a great opportunity for them, with the younger guys around them who are training with us, to actually start to develop their leadership skills as well. Although you want to go out and beat the pants off the person you're playing against, you also don't want them, you want them doing the right thing. So there's a lot of sort of stop the game, Zaya, have a chat to so-and-so, and they just talk their way through, how things are supposed to be done, or how, the expectations that we have within the group. And so from that standpoint, it's been a pretty good developmental week. But obviously, when you're trying to prepare for teams and you got half your roster missing, it makes it a little bit difficult. But as Tommy was saying, we're kind of used to this. Our first year, we were lucky to get 10 blokes on the court for the second half of the season because of injuries. And then last year, you had your bag packed at all times because you know where you're going to get run off to play. So it's more of the same for us. As Tommy said, we're pretty resilient, and we've sort of built a pretty hard shell for ourselves in regards to any obstacles that are thrown our way. We're ready for them.
With you as I said to Tom, you guys are getting close to that NBL record for days without a game. How did the guys take the latest sort of news? And what's the sort of feel around the?
Well, like we spoke to the guys this morning before practice, and I don't think they were tremendously surprised. I mean, they only have to look around to their left and their right and realise there's numbers don't quite add up into putting a team together for the weekend. So again, it's just about how do we get better every day. It's kind of our motto, and it's sort of like sometimes you're looking around like, geez, how do we get better today? But there's things you can do, as I said, for a young guy like an Isaiah Liafa, he gets an opportunity to take on a leadership role today, and it's just those things that you're always looking for ways to get better.
People, on the outside of pro sports look around and see big bash teams bringing in local cricketers and whatnot. But how difficult is it for you guys to look down the path of bringing in some replacement guys or bringing in other people to fill a spot for a while?
Well, we're a little bit bound by NBL protocols, and we just can't sort of bring guys in. We're the only regular season competition at the moment. So if you're bringing people in that's generally out of season, like in cricket, it's cricket season. So everyone's playing cricket. So it's a little bit of a different circumstance, what we face as compared to what cricket faces. We don't have access to the second tier players to kind of come in. We have our 5 training guys who are fantastic and have been brilliant. But we've got a couple of those guys down at the moment as well. So it's just, it's a tough situation for all.
With an import spot to fill, what do you have a similar position to Devon in mind, or do you have just whoever you can sort of get? What's the feel on who you'd like to see in that roster spot, or what sort of player you'd like to see?
Looking for a kid from the northern suburbs with a jump hook, I think. We just we've changed up a little bit what we're looking at. Maybe looking for a little more versatility than what we had with Devon. I guess our situation when we signed Devon was, we didn't know what we had in Joe Chi quite at the time. There was a little bit of a cloud over Dane's health coming off a year off, but I think Dane's shown what he can do, and Joe Chi's clearly a high-level basketballer. So maybe someone who can drift between the 4 and 5 rather than just a 5-man. We continue to look. We've got some really good names, some guys that we're pretty pleased with. And so, we'll make a decision shortly on that.
And just a final one on the young guys. Are you envisioning you're going to have to use them a bit more, whether you've got your full roster or not? Because odds are you guys are going to cop some 3-game weeks, 4-game weeks. Goodness knows what could be ahead once you are back on court. Yeah,
we didn't sort of just bring in anybody. We've had these guys since the start of the pre-season pretty much, and they're part of the fabric of the club. We've had some guys over the years who have been training players who have assumed really big roles within the group. One guy especially, Jeremy McKay, who's not with us this year, but in the previous 2 years has been a huge part of the club. Despite the fact he only put the uniform on that one time, but he was one of the great trainers of the team and one of the leaders around the place. And we kind of give as much to our training players as we do to our roster guys, and we expect as much in return. So they're treated like members of the team, and so if they're asked to come and do a job, and we saw it in pre-season in the Blitz. An Owen Foxwell and Colin Sapwell and Lockie Barker, guys who've come in and played roles during the Blitz and done extremely well, and we have complete faith that they can come and do that in the regular season games.
How pleased are you to see what Keith is doing at the moment? He had 22 yesterday and he's got 16 today. So, what have you got on that?
Yeah, from a personal and a club point of view, could not be more excited and happy for Kiefer. I was talking to someone about this the other day, and there's plenty of players out there who are blessed with opportunity on opportunity due to their size or athleticism or whatever it may be. And you just love it when you see a guy like Kiefer who's done it the tough way, and he's fought the good fight for such a long time, and to get his opportunity, and for him to be taking it the way he is, and just having these kinds of numbers on some of the biggest stages, having that game the other day at MSG, it was truly incredible. And I think it's also credit to the program, that Simon and Eric Hollingsworth have put in place here at the Phoenix. It was a clear sort of pathway for Kiefer. Him and his agency identified it early on, that's the path that they wanted to take, because that's what they thought would get Kiefer to achieving his goal. So it's great to see it come to fruition.
And Simon, it's your thoughts on it?
Oh yeah, no, it's awesome. I think it's great. Message with Kiefer quite often, and got one this morning. He's obviously really keyed up and fired up for the Nets game. He obviously knew there's a bit of a challenge with Kyrie returning and Paddy playing really well, but he was looking forward to it. And I'm just tremendously proud of him, and knowing the background and the work he's had to put in. 7 years to get to your rookie game. That's just great perseverance. You love to hear those stories in sport, but I think even from a broader angle, when you look at it from just NBL and all international players, really, and these guys who ply their trade outside of the spotlight of the NBA, and just how good they are and how good the player depth is across the world, and particularly in the NBL. And just you need the right time and place. And if you get that, you get the opportunity just to grasp it. And you see guys, throughout the years, like a Torrey Craig, Kiefer, these guys who are just given the doors open a little bit, and they throw their foot and leg through and sort of say, announce themselves as NBA players. But, those guys are all over the world. The world just doesn't know it, or the NBA world just doesn't know it. So I'm not surprised he's doing what he's doing. It's a hell of a lot easier to score in the NBA than it is the NBL. Just looking at all that space for him today in the first half against the Nets, I was thinking, God, man, I wish we could create that with the NBA rules. But it's he's doing wonderfully well. Really happy for him and his family. And I just hope that more players see the NBL as a pathway, similar to the way that Kiefer did. Kiefer was really upfront about our style of play, the league, the exposure with the Next Star program, that he felt this was the best way, better than EuroLeague, for him to get into the NBA.